YouTube. It's been a few days since I've made a video. In fact, I hadn't uploaded a video since for about 6 days. And here's the reason why. Of the tubiest, the best YouTube subscribers on the planet. That's you, and I'm 50 plus. So I hadn't uploaded a video. In fact, I've kind of veered off a little bit from social media, and if I was younger, I probably would use that feel some sort of way thing, I guess that's the way I would feel. I guess that's the term for when you, I'm just frustrated with a lot of what I see on social media, all of them, all the platforms, including this one. And if you watch them, you could easily see some things in people that aren't pretty, and it could skew your thought processes. And I have a problem with it. There's, in this country, without a doubt, there's a huge separation in train of thought between one group of people and another group of people. And I'll say it, and if I say it, you just need to actually listen. And you've already prejudged what I'm about to say. And that's the problem right there. That's it. That's the problem. You've already said, okay, he's going to say this, and this is already what I'm going to think about it already before I say it. But the fact is, and that there always have been, and it's unfortunate, but in reality, it always will be, a huge paradigm difference between white people and everybody else, not just black people, okay? That's a fact. I'm not guessing, I'm not assuming, I'm not, that's a fact, okay? If I was wrong, speaking of this incident that happened specifically with the piece of trash that put his knee on the neck of another man and choked him to death. If I'm wrong, why is it that other countries are standing in arms against what they saw? Not just black people. Okay? So it's a really, really, really sickening thing. Now somebody's going to get down there and they're going to say, they're going to write down there, one of the most stupid responses. I mean, stupid response. And I'm telling you, I'm going to call you stupid if you respond this way. Not all white people are bad. You stupid. You say that, you're stupid, okay? Everybody knows that. And I'm not speaking that everybody is one way. And if that's what you're thinking, then you are going to be a part of the lump of the problem that we're going to talk about. Okay? You are a problem. Okay? Not everybody, not all rocks are square and hard, or hard, and not all bricks are square, and not all oxygen is clean, and not all water is pure. And I mean, come on, man. There's not all nothing any one way, okay? But when you start talking in generalities, there's some truths in generalities, okay? And the way that this situation is being viewed by white people in general, it's tough, to say the least. It's tough to see it and hear it and witness it. It's tough, man. It makes you wonder if we've made any progress at all in this country as far as freedom and liberties and caring for one another. It's been pretty rough. I'm on, so that you all know. Let me just show you a few of my favorite mugs. I'm hoping that you can see all that. Can you read that? Can you read that? Let's see if I can find another one here. Annoy a liberal. Use fact and logic. Here's another one. Here's another one. I mean, I can go on and on. I have a desk full of them, okay? I am a diehard Republican. I am a Trump supporter. I voted for him the first time, and I will be voting for him again. And for all of my black friends and black subscribers out there, before you prejudge me for being, somebody who supports a racist and all that kind of stuff, and I want you to know that I've been a Republican long before Donald Trump became president. And I never voted until I started voting Republican. I've never voted Democrat ever. Well, I did. I take that back. Ever since I started, I learned what politics was, and I learned history, and I started to vote. I voted straight Republican ticket. I voted Democrat one time. I voted for Barack Obama in his first season. like he's a like a TV show or something, right? I voted for him in his first term. The reason I voted for Barack Obama and then Republican everything else. The reason I voted for Barack Obama is because I thought he could win, and even if he couldn't, I still would have given him my vote, because I didn't believe that in my lifetime that I would get the opportunity to vote for a black man to become president. And I guess in the although he and I have completely polar opposites on politics, I was really hoping that he would have a good presidency, and maybe it would help change some of the mindset. It did not change mindset. He did have an excellent presidency. By the way, I did not vote for him the second time, and he still won, obviously, and he had a successful second term. So all of my hard right brethren, I feel you. I love you. Barack Obama, regardless of how you may feel about him, and regardless of how you may feel about his politics, the man was extremely successful. He got done what he wanted to get done. He did. He was, and his find the conspiracy through his presidency. You're not going to find it. It wasn't there. You know, and they're drumming up a bunch of stuff right now, but that's always going to happen. You can jump on the bandwagon if you want to, but that's always going to happen. You know, us on the right will always defend our right to bring up stupid stuff like that. But the fact is, he represented extremely well. He was always presidential, and he believed what he was saying and doing, and he lived it. And the man just did a fantastic job. That's just the bottom line. Do I like his policies and all that? No, I don't. Okay, don't get me wrong. All I'm saying is, with what he wanted to do, what he wanted to get across, and the message that he did, that he presented to the world, was positive in his views. Okay, and he did no harm. Right now, our president, the Republican president, Donald Trump, is doing a fantastic job as a president, and you cannot like him and just say everything that he done is bad. That's fine. That's the way it's been since the dawn of time. Okay, that's just politics. That's the way it's always been. One side don't want the other side, and no matter what side is in office, the other side says that the one that's in power is all wrong. That's the way it's always going to be. It's always been. Okay, so there's no issues there. I will say that although I support Donald Trump and the things he does, the vast majority I do, politics-wise. But our president, Donald Trump, who I voted in and will be voting for again, say some stupid shit. He does. Okay? I mean, the stuff he said... I agree with what he says. I just don't agree with how he says it. And he says it in such a bad way that it paints him into a corner to where he's just easy target. He just blocks himself in. When the looting starts, the shooting starts. I don't know if he actually said it. Maybe he did. I don't know. I mean, I don't dig into it that way, but do I agree with that? Wholeheartedly. I 150% agree with that. I definitely agree. Maybe could have said it different. Okay? People who are protesting are protesters, and they are exercising their freedom. Those who are looting, you are a criminal. And you're likely to be shot by a storefront owner if you are stealing from them. Different way to say it. It's a whole bunch of words and a long way to go. But that is the exact same thing. It's the same thing as saying, if you loot, we shoot. Same thing. And if you still don't believe it, let's just say that your home was on one of these roads where people are pillaging and robbing and set a fire, and you're home with your family, and here the mob comes. They're like, a house or two away from you, and they are kicking front doors in. You have a firearm. They're coming to loot. What are you going to do? Okay, so don't act like what he said was so viciously, horribly bad. Okay, but when we choose a side, one side or the other, we get blinded by what's on the other side. Okay, we vote certain ways because of what we're structured to do as black people. Which means we vote Democrat because we are systemically taught to do that as a culture, as a race. Okay, that's a fact. So, because if you knew history, if you're black and you knew history and you actually studied history, then you would know that if you're voting for a Democrat, you are voting for the person who put a noose on your neck. But you don't know that because you won't study history. You only want to just say all the rich white guys are Republicans. It's not really the facts, okay? Now, my white brethren right now are going, because you see who I am, know I'm doing. But the fact is, my white brethren, we don't really see the same picture, okay? If our side, the Republican side, wanted to turn the heads of some of these Democrats, then why would our leader say the things that he says and the way that he sells them, okay? Why isn't some immediately federal action not being taken on these, on the police? It's very disheartening. And by the way, this has been going on since the dawn of time, and there's been several Democrat presidents in office and still no reform on police or the brutality of police. Okay, but at the end of the day, we see a different paradigm. Okay, we see a different paradigm, and if Barack Obama is in the presidency, he says, if I had a son, he would look like Trayvon. That's what Barack Obama said. Our president didn't say anything in that manner that would help us to show who he truly is, okay? Because I don't believe the man is a racist at all. I don't believe Donald Trump is a racist. You're not going to convince me of that. And, it ain't because I'm a Republican. It's because the man has shown me nothing. He is no more responsible by the bunch of white people running down the road with a tea light candle than Barack Obama is about Black Lives Matter. Okay, Barack Obama did not create Black Lives Matter, and Donald Trump did not create people walking down the street holding the tea candle. That hate has been there forever on both sides, black side and white side. Black side and white side. I'm trying to keep myself calm, okay? That's the problem. It's always been there. If you were born in America, you have a mustard seed of racism. It's in your blood. It's there. Don't act like it's not there. It's there. I don't care what race you are. If you was born and raised, or if you spent enough time in the United States, it's there. It's there because if you've experienced it or you've witnessed it. The whole earth is watching a cop put his knee on a neck and kill a man in the street. The vast majority will say, oh my God, America is still in the 60s. And it's no different. It's no different. We've seen this. Come on. Don't act like you hadn't seen videos from the 50s and 60s of cops, doing this to black people, okay? And now it's 2020 and the exact same thing is happening. The exact thing, but, it doesn't exist, right? I'm on some conservative pages on my social media, and it really bothers me on these conservative pages where there's one conservative page and it's circulating the reason you need an AR and 30 round clips is on your TV right now. That's what's circulating, and it really lit me. It really, so that somebody could put that out there on a public forum like that. It really, 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 really bothered me. It just proves the separation. It proves the total different paradigm between two races of people. And they're right. They're right. The reason I own probably definitely over 15 ARs in different calibers and stuff like that, different styles, and I got them rigged up different and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I own several ARs, several 30 rounds. I got drum clips with 120 rounds in them. And you're right. The reason I own those things is because of what was on my TV and news feed right then. You're right. Because the reason we own firearms, and the reason we have a Second Amendment is because we have the right to form a free militia to protect ourselves from that piece of crap that put his knee on the neck of that man and killed him. That's why we have that right. So you're correct. We take our weapons and when that person comes, we defend ourselves against them, not the man that's on the ground dying. It's so painful to understand how we live amongst each other, and you don't know if the person next to you can trust them or not. It's a horrible thing, and it's the reason you can't trust them because they can't feel what you feel or experience what you experience. We can't, as Black people, we cannot experience what it's like to be white, and white people cannot experience what it's like to be Black, nor can either of us feel what it's like to be Asian, or Italian, or Hispanic. We don't know the pain that each other feels day to day. And we don't have to, but we can be compassionate. Okay? We can see that, this person is a human being, regardless of their race or their religion or their background or their history. They are a human being. And so they deserve to be treated inhumane because of what? Explain that to me. Why? Why is it that somebody who pins a badge on, all of a sudden they are all perfect? They can never do any wrong, and whatever they do in the course of their job, we're going to justify it and let them get away with whatever it is. All of these things are good because they pinned on a badge. I guarantee you that narrative is way one-sided. I bet you're not going to be able to find very few people who on this side agrees with that. I bet you're going to find a shitload on the other side that believes that. It's true. It's like the military, I believe the military is good and I support them and all that kind of stuff. I believe that the military is necessary, 100% necessary. I have a real problem with the military based on the fact that we as citizens send our brothers in arms to the military. And then when the war and the fighting is over and they're coming home, that we do such a piss poor job decompressing them and then reuniting them to society. We do a horrible job of it. And if I'm wrong, if I'm lying, if I don't know what I'm talking about, then explain to me why 22 a day is committing suicide. Explain that to me. We do a horrible job. If you're going to send somebody, brainwash them, which is what turning a 18-year-old into a killing machine, you're turning an 18-year-old militant. That's what you are, military militant. That's what you're doing. Because they have to be that way. Because they're going to be shot at and they have to shoot at people. They have to take lives. You know, that mindset has to be put into them. Okay. It's necessary for their survival while they're there. Okay. The brotherhood of military has to be there because they have to count on one another. That's all an extreme necessary thing. But when they come back, they are no longer in that situation, but they don't know how to be civilians. Some reacclimate very well, but 22 a day at least are far from that. And we, American civilians, have done a piss poor job. Our government has done a horrible job decompressing these guys and gals, okay? And then when they get done, they come home and their options are few. It's just horrible, you know? I mean, they're 18, graduate high school, go to the military. They might spend 4, 5, 6 years, 8 years, whatever. And they come back and the only skills that they've had in their adult life has been in the military. And they have a few doors open for them, and one of them is the police. So now you pin a badge on this person who just got out of the military. They are militant. They have a military thought process. That's why the police department works out well for them. But it also brings in other things too, like that militant demeanor. And don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. And tell me all military and all of this and all that ain't bad. I get so sick of hearing that stupidity. Of course they are not all that way. Come on. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you listen to some of the verbiage of these police officers as they are screaming and yelling the MF word and F word over and over and over and over and over again, screaming at somebody and trying to force these people because they don't have the mental capacity to convince somebody something other than screaming and yelling and fussing at them. And when that don't work, well, they put their knee on their neck and kill them. Or they discharge their firearm 15 times in the person's chest cavity. It's because they don't. That's all they know. Then you put them a badge on their chest and say, okay, now you can do that and you're going to get away with it. We got your back because we're the brotherhood. Remember, we was in a foxhole together. We're going to take care of each other. That's how we do things. And then we wonder why this continues to happen over and over and over and over and over. Because some people don't need to be a police officer. So I hope that we understand. I hope we're on the same page there, at least. Because this is true. I'm not making anything up. This is all true. Okay? And then the worst part about it is when we witness it live as someone is sitting behind the steering wheel of their car while her boyfriend is sitting next to him, and the police officer just unloaded into his chest after the guy did exactly what the police officer asked him to do. We watched it live. We watched it on Facebook live as it happens. But don't punish the cop for doing it. And you guys know the story over and over and over and over. We found no misconduct, so we're not going to prosecute him. He was in fear of his life, so he discharged firearm. You know what? If I was walking down the street and I saw somebody and the person looked at me funny and I felt like I was in fear of my life and I took my sidearm, I'm a concealed carry permit citizen. So I pull out my firearm and I shoot this guy 6 times in the chest with a .45 and kill him. And then we go to court and I say I was in fear of my life, so I shot him. Well, what did he do? He did everything I told him to do, but I shot him 6 times because I was in fear of my life. What do you think is going to happen to me? But if I had a badge on, I get to walk away. And this happens over and over and over and over and over. How long do you expect for people to be, treated less than a human and their voices not be heard before they start, burning this son of a bitch to the ground? Oh my God, look at those thugs. They're tearing things up and burning things down, and they're thugs. There was no thugs when they was white carrying tea candles down the street. There's the shift. That's the difference. One side or the other. Come on. What's the difference? Come on. I don't think any side is thugs at all. But when you mention thugs, it's always one side. You see? It's so frustrating, guys. It's so frustrating, It's I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take for us to be able to get past this. I don't know, man. And I don't mean just this instance, because time puts this whole thing in the rearview mirror. If you think I'm wrong, then you'll remember Rodney King when the police brutally beat him in the street. We don't talk about that anymore, right? It's been 30 years ago or something. It's in a rearview mirror, so nobody cares. What about all those other guys that were on camera, caught on camera with the police, just assassinating somebody, but nothing ever happens? I don't know how many times that's going to happen before, it just gets really, 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 really bad, man. And then you telling somebody, well, they're thugs, they're hooligans. They shouldn't, if you got a grievance, you shouldn't do that. And the world's worst. This is all social media. The world's worst. It just fries me when one of my white brethren put on their page, let's stop the rioting. What would MLK do? If you are one of my white brethren, if you have that on any of your social media page, take it down right now. Take it out, okay? Take it out. And don't ever say that. Don't ever, especially if you're white, don't ever say, what would Martin Luther King do? Because we don't know, okay? We don't know. Because you killed him. That's why we don't know. And it's so frustrating. For somebody to put that up on their page, it brings out fury. Maybe if you hadn't killed him, we would have leadership right now, and maybe this wouldn't be happening. But anyway, if he was alive, what would he do? He would have dogs sicked on him, fire hoses on him. He would get spat on, beat on, and then thrown in jail. Because that's what happened to him. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just so frustrated. But I'm venting a little bit now, and I hope that you guys understand that I'm venting. But I am giving you what I've always given you, and that's what's inside. And it's just frustrating to to the ends of this world. Okay, it's frustrating because if we were one, okay, if we had each other, if we cared for each other, you know, if we could find a way past this, the difference in paradigm, man, it'd be a much better place. It would, you know. I mean, coffee with your friend is tastes a little different, you know. Just understand understand each other, have some compassion, you know. And when somebody's hurting, be able to feel their pain, you know, not just find a reason why they should have that pain. There is no reason for a situation like we've seen on several occasions. I mean, if it was just like 100 cases of it, if it was even just 1,000 cases of it, but this has happened over and over and over and over and over and over, and it has happened over and over and over and over for, you know, hundreds of years, for real. Why do you think the police department is actually? Well, you don't understand what the first police really was? Do you know who they were? The very first police. Do you know what they created police for? Do you know? I won't tell you. You go find out for yourself. And then tell me, has there ever been a day where they were for black folks? No, it ain't. They were not created for that. Look, you know, I said too much, but you go find out. And this is not hate speech. I'm not telling you guys we should be fighting each other. I'm just telling you what my frustrations are. And I'll tell you right now, there's a whole lot of black people who feel, and they understand exactly what I'm saying. They feel exactly what I'm saying. There's a whole lot of white people who can sympathize with me. They can't feel my pain because they're not white. They're my friends. They're my brother. They're my white blood. Okay? But they can't feel what I feel. I don't know. I don't want them to feel it. I just want them to understand we all have some. We all have that little mustard seed of racism in us. We all do. It's just sad, but we all do. Okay. Say, oh no, I don't have no racism in me. You're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. You know. You ever looked at a guy and said, man, all of them wear their pants hanging down below their ass? You ever said that? If you're a lady, if you're a white lady, if you ever walked and seen two black teenagers walking towards you, and just for a second, you did a double take, or your heart beat a little faster. Hey, you can't. The fear that you felt, ma'am, the fear that you felt, you may not have reacted, but the fear you felt for that long, that's that mustard seed that's been planted in you. Because two white teenage boys could be walking past you and your heart wouldn't have skipped a beat. We all have it. We have to learn to live with it, learn to deal with it. But first, we have to learn to accept it. I appreciate you guys listening to me ramble, you know. And I mean, it's 40 minutes of me venting, and I know a lot of you have already clicked off, and I get it. I understand, and I hope we get through this without, killing each other. And remember, in November, go vote. I don't care which one you vote for. Doesn't matter. Just so long as you vote for Donald Trump. You hear me? And if you don't, you need to open up a history book. Learn who your friend is. Anyway, here's your boop. Here, boop.